What's going on, world? This is Aaron Ragland back again for another one. Today I am giving 12 tips for beginner music producers making beats. Tip number 1, learn an instrument. At 8 or 9 I began playing the violin, got bored, and quit at 13. I began messing around with FL Studio. I started entering in random notes into the software. Took a while for my beats to sound nice. 2 instruments that you want to learn is either piano or guitar. Out of those 2, I strongly recommend piano. Guitar has 6 strings. Each string is its own note, and those notes are placed differently on each of those strings. A, B, C, D, E. Tip number 2, know your notes. Piano has 52 white keys plus 36 black keys, which equals 88 total keys. The keys or notes include 7 letters of the alphabet, which are C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Full-length piano has 8 octaves. Today we're only going to focus on 2. And this is a low C. In addition to the notes I just showed you, there's a way to raise and lower the note, and that's with the black keys and the combination of the white keys. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, B sharp, E, C flat, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F flat, E flat, D flat, C flat. Tip number 3, know your major and minor scales. To play scales, you want to know the 2 most basic intervals in music. That's a half step or a whole step, C, then C sharp, D, D sharp, C, D, D, E. A major scale is a scale commonly characterized for its happy sound. With this scale, there's a certain formula used, which is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. C to then D, that's a whole step, to E, that's a whole step, then half step to F, then whole step to G, then whole step to A, then whole step to B, then half step to C. The second most basic scale you should know is the minor scale. Minor scales are characterized for having a depressed and sad sound, which has the formula whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. A, whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A. Number 4, always record with a metronome. The metronome is the device musicians use with a recurring ticking sound to help keep tempo or BPM. BPM is beats per minute. In this section, I'm not talking about a beat that a rapper will spit a hot 16 on. A beat in music is used to mark a place in time. To record with the metronome, I'm gonna play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I know that's whack, but just bear with me. Before that, let's understand note duration and time signature. Basic note duration to know are quarter notes, which equals 1 beat, half notes equals 2 beats, and whole notes equal 4 beats. Eighth notes are half of a quarter note, and 16th notes are a fourth of a quarter note. Now we'll come back to that in a second. A time signature is represented by two numbers written as a fraction, which indicates how the beats are distributed in the song or musical piece. Today, we are focusing on 4/4 time, and let's listen to the metronome. Now each tick represents one beat. Listen, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to note duration. Here's what a full measure of the notes would sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we can lay down some Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Number 6, quantize your notes. And in most DAWs, you can zoom in, highlight each note, and then right click, quantize. Number 6, memorize chords. Why do you want to memorize chords? My older brother told me when I was first starting to make beats that you not need any music theory at all. Use your ear. And I would put my hands all over the keyboard playing random notes and not remember what I just did. The most basic chord is called a triad, which is 3 notes played at the same time. Of those basic triad chords, you also have major and minor. With a major chord, you have the root note, a major third note, then you have a perfect fifth. With a minor chord, you have your root note, a minor third, and a perfect fifth. Today, we're just going to use 3 major chords: C major, F major, and G major. Number 7, build harmony to complete the beat, but don't overload the track. When I first started making beats, and even now, it really takes a lot of judgment to figure out when a beat is complete. With popular music, and especially trap, some songs may have 4 instruments or less. To figure out how many instruments you may need in your song, study pop music and what's in the mainstream now. Eventually, you'll get a feel for everything. Number 8, understand the relationship between a kick and a snare. With very basic drum placement, a kick can be placed on the downbeat or the very first beat of the measure and every third beat of the measure. Since this melody is moving at a much faster tempo, we're just going to place the kick on beat 1. Basic drum placement for the snare is usually on the back beat, every second and fourth beat. For this example, we're going to place the snare on the third beat. Now to give the melody just a little bit of sauce, we're gonna add some hi-hats. Basic placement for hi-hats could be 1/8 notes or 16th notes. And with this tempo, we're gonna try some 1/8 notes. Number 9, watch audio clipping. Audio clipping is when the level of the volume is way too high and it could possibly cause distortion. Let's check this out. If I zoom in here to the master view of Ableton, you see this red? Lighten up red, that is not a good sign. At number 10, know how to bounce your track and do wave track outs for each individual instrument. The reason you want to bounce out all individual instruments is because that gives more artists room for creativity. Number 11, mix and master your track. The human ear can hear all frequencies from 40 hertz all the way up to 20 kilohertz. The instruments by themselves take up so much frequency that you should have an experienced mixing and mastering engineer separate those individual instruments and sounds. Very last tip, number 12, never delete anything that you record. Save everything. But Aaron, it doesn't really sound that good. It sounds terrible when I made this beat. Think about this. The more you save your tracks, the more you're building your portfolio as a producer. What isn't inspiration one day might be inspiration for another day. Alright y'all, that was my 12 tips for beginner music producers making beats. Hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. Hope y'all enjoyed, and peace.